Hello. So today I will be reviewing the Cosmos Tarot. This is my first public YouTube video, and I have a lot of ideas for YouTube videos. I've been doing Periscopes, and I'll probably do a couple like YouTube videos of some Periscope broadcasts that I've done just to have like permanent, I guess, material. But anyways, basically I wanted this to be my first YouTube video just to kind of break the ice, I guess. Well, hello, Spooky. Spooky's decided to join us. Oh my goodness. Anyways, so I want to do a review of the Nomad too at some point, probably maybe this weekend, I don't know, soon, but probably will do a permanent video of I'm trying to think of a broadcast that I did on probably on crystals. I'll probably do a YouTube video on crystals just because one I have so many, and that was such a long Periscope, and I definitely feel like I did not cover everything I wanted to talk about because there's like an hour limit anyways, and I just felt like that definitely would transfer over to YouTube a lot better. But anyways, so this weekend was my birthday. Technically, last Friday, March 25th, was my birthday, and I went to Columbus and did a lot of cool stuff. Not that that's like super relevant to a Cosmos deck review, but whatever. I am going into this because I wanted to show you guys my cool metaphysical shop haul because we stopped at a local shop there. And basically, like, I got some birthday money from my grandma, and of course I'm like, you know, duh, I'm gonna use it for like crystals because I need more. It's like a disease that never goes away. Crystal addiction. But anyways, actually one of the things I got was this cool necklace that is made from sandalwood, but it's got labradorite, which I can never decide how I want to say that word because I really just need to look it up. But for anybody who is new to me, go ahead and get used to me not saying anything right because I am literally dyslexic, and it's not a big deal to me. It used to be, but I just embrace it because it's a part of me, and I just see the humor in it and don't let it hold me back anymore. And like I said, that's something that people like throw that term around all the time because I've literally told people that before and they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm like totally dyslexic too." I'm like, "No, I really am. It's not a joke." I mean, like people joke about it all the time. And so, like, I've literally tried to tell people that before, and they're like, "Oh, no, I'm dyslexic." I like misspell stuff all the time. I'm like, no, I'm really dyslexic. So, anyways, if you're new to me, you will hear me like, say stuff wrong or, like, stumble over stuff all the time, and I'm just gonna keep trucking. So, anyways, this symbol necklace is made from sandalwood, and it's got labradorite charms on it. And I just fell in love with it, and I was like, I have to have this, because that's, like, one of my favorite crystals, because, woo, I showed this on Periscope the other day, and you've seen it on my feed, because I'm, like, in love. And this, of course, was one of my things that I bought myself for my birthday. Absolutely in love with this piece. They actually had a whole stunning selection of different labradorite pieces there, and so it was like really hard for me to choose because that is like one of my crystals that I just absolutely love. It's one of my faves, and not going to get into the crystal talk here because, like I said, I plan to do a video on that. But, and my new webcam that I bought does this cool little feature. But I find this a... But anyways, I find this to be like a super particularly calming stone for me, and amethyst. That's like a new favorite stone for me right now. I've been like avidly collecting amethyst as of recently. I've had a piece for a while, but as of lately, I've been like hoarding amethyst. I don't know if you guys saw the huge piece that I got at another local metaphysical shop in my area in West Virginia. When my boyfriend came back from the airport when he had to fly out to Alabama back a couple weeks ago, but we went to the only metaphysical shop essentially in West Virginia, which is like an hour away from here, and it's like really quaint and cute, and I found this giant amethyst piece that's like literally this big. If I'd had it over here already, I would have showed you guys, but I'll show it in my crystal video that I end up making. But anyways, also got this beautiful little guy, the spirit quartz, but I'm pretty sure it's ametrine because it looks so dull on here. Oh my god! But it's a beautiful little chunk. This is one of the biggest. This is the biggest one I own now, but it actually is self-standing, so that's awesome. I really like the ones that are self-standing. I only have like 2 that are self-standing, but just because I really am self-indulgent on this zooming thing. I feel like a cute little dragon that's just like, crystals. Like, I don't know if any of you guys have played the new Fire Emblem, because I'm like totally about to just like divulge how much of a huge dork I am. But if any of you guys have played the new Fire Emblem, then you guys are aware of the character in the very beginning that's like your main character's maid or whatever, and you find out that she turns into like a little dragon. That's what I feel like right now. I feel like the cute little dragon lady that you find out turns into a dragon, and all along you just, I don't even know what I'm going on here about. Honestly, I mean, you guys are probably like, okay, where the freak is the Cosmos deck review? Alright, I'm sorry. I got too excited about this haul. Anyways, and lastly, this awesome Kuan Yin statue that I got. She's super beautiful. She actually glows in the dark. I didn't even realize that until the other night. I was getting ready to go to sleep. I was like, whoa. She's sitting on a lotus. She's super beautiful. Saw her and fell in love with her. I was actually looking at some Siddhartha statues because I wanted a Siddhartha statue, not the Laughing Buddha. I mean, I have a Laughing Buddha statue, and I love the Laughing Buddha statues, but if any of you actually are familiar, a lot of times that is a misunderstanding that Laughing Buddha is supposed to be representative of Buddha, and Laughing Buddha is not the Buddha, and he is more of like a caricature of Buddha, and he's more supposed to be like triggering of wealth. Like, he's supposed to bring wealth into your life. You use him to bring wealth. He's not representative of Buddha. Siddhartha is a statue you see that has kind of like the sounds like kind of a dumb way to describe it, but he's got more of like the scaly looking head, and he's smaller, and he's very solemn looking, and he's usually doing the same thing where he kind of looks similar to or what Quan Lee's doing here. I said Quan Lee in my dang Periscope. I don't know who Quan Lee is, but I'm going to look it up because whoever it is, their name's stuck in my head, so they must be important. So Quan Lee, wherever you are, if you're a deity or something, you're calling me out apparently. But Kuan Yin is what I meant. And Siddhartha's statue a lot of times looks similar to the same posture that Kuan Yin's in. But anyways, her particular statue called me out, and she is also a Buddha, but she is the goddess of compassion, because if any of you actually are Buddhist or into Buddhism, then you know that there are the three jewels, and there are wisdom, compassion, and then Buddha, like the Buddha, Siddhartha. Anyway, she's the goddess of compassion. But anyways, so let's go ahead and get into this, because this is what you guys are here for, probably. Instead of just seeing me, like, talk about a bunch of stuff. Sorry. I just get excited. So anyways, the cosmos. I actually, to go ahead and give you guys a very quick, what would be the word? I guess 10 out of 10 would recommend. 10 out of 10 would recommend. So, basically, this actually, I stumbled upon this on Tumblr. We'll hold it up here. This comes in a very nice hard case box. And we'll zoom in here for a minute. And so, basically, this is actually a Canadian, losing track of my thoughts here. This is a Canadian deck, essentially, and so when you order it, if you're not Canadian, it will be cheaper, because the Canadian exchange is kind of funky right now. And so, for American dollars, it's about $35 for everything, and you get a tarot and oracle deck. And so, it is made by Light Gray Art Lab, which is kind of like an eclectic type ordeal. They do a lot of different things, and they just happen to do this. They have something else, I think, another tarot deck. I can't remember what it's called, but this is something else that they decided to do, and it is a collective thing that was done by 100 different artists, maybe more. So what that means is that each card, and that includes the oracle deck as well, is done by one different artist each. And so what you'll see is that there's not a consistent theme. And I love that, personally, because me, personally, as a tarot reader, I am very weird about the decks I like. I do not like your average conventional decks. I do not like the Rider-Waite. I have never liked that. I do not like the normal decks. So I like the very eccentric and weird decks. I love the Wild Unknown. I love the Prismas. You will see me with weird decks. So for me, this was the deck I wanted. This is right up my alley. It is weird, and it is very astrological and mythology themed. If that is your thing, you will adore it. So, just to give you another look at the back here. Whoops, wrong direction, I'm sorry. Now, if you have an issue with decks that are not conventional, and what I mean by this is that the suits and stuff like that are not going to be, your stereotypical thing. If you have difficulty with that, then this deck will be a little harder for you to read, essentially. Now, if you have experience with decks like the Wild Unknown, the Wooden Tarot, any decks like that, then you'll be fine. I personally have learned to read with decks like that. The first deck that I got was the Wildwood Tarot. And so every suit is completely different. It's like stones, bows, blah, blah, blah. And so I learned on that. I've never had an issue learning with unconventional decks. And so I don't have issues with decks like this. I actually prefer them. And so to go ahead and get into this, mine does not look how it did when it came because I've since opened it. Obviously, I've had this for a couple months now. But I will tell you what it looked like originally. It comes in a 3-slated type thing. Now, what you get originally, and I will move this, but one side has a saran-wrapped Oracle deck. The other has the saran-wrapped Tarot deck. And then in the middle is this nice little guidebook. And what we'll do is I will take each out and we'll look at them individually. So, okay. Now this is what the box looks like without the stuff in it. It's very nice and sturdy if you are the type of person who keeps your decks in what they came in, if they do have something to keep them in, because sometimes decks just come without stuff in them. I mean, without anything like substantial, because just that's how it is, because sometimes you just, I mean, they just don't send anything, because you ideally should have something else to put them in, because it saves you space, like this. Ideally, I would like to have a pouch for this, but I don't. I'm frivolous, even though I just admitted to paying a shitload of money for crystals. But anyways, enough about my hypercritical, I think I just used the wrong word. Hypocritical, yeah, hypocritical spending ways. So first I want to look at the guidebook, because I feel that this is super important, a guidebook, when it comes to beginners especially. But it also can be important for even seasoned readers and professional readers. This is a very, very lovely guidebook. I am very impressed with it, because having a lot of decks, I have seen decks that do not have a guidebook at all, such as the Wooden and Earthbound Oracle, which is fine. I mean, I don't need one. Basically, I'm a professional tarot reader. I don't need one. And then I've had guidebooks that are wonderful, like this one. But basically, it is always nice to have a really nice guidebook, because essentially when you have a really nice guidebook, it is always good to just read through it one thing, because sometimes you will find that it's good to have an open perspective with each deck that you have, because honestly, every deck is not made the same, and you should have that sort of open perspective with each deck that you have. And to come into each deck with an open mind, you have a new relationship with each deck that you have, and there's always something new to learn with each deck. And with that being said, you can constantly be learning more about tarot with each deck that you get. And also, there's usually some sort of new, interesting spreads to try. And so, anyways, with that being said, we will take us a little gander at this cute little book. So, this is a pretty thick book, as you can see. Let me see if it's got a page count, and I will tell you literally 136 pages. And it has spreads for both Oracle and Tarot cards, and it's got both Oracle and Tarot basically summarized and explained in this. So, it is in black and white, which is fine because it doesn't have to be colorized. But it's got a picture of the card, the name of the card, the element of the card, small summary words, as well as them explained. I don't know if you can actually read that. Probably not. So, just to give you an idea of what we're looking at. So, here we have Pegasus, which is Wheel of Fortune. And it says, from humble beginnings to true potential. And it also has the artist and the artist who created the card's website. Just in case you get curious and you actually really love their art, you can go check out their website, which is awesome because I totally, full-heartedly agree in that sort of support. So, just to give you an idea of how they explain their cards, Pegasus, the handsome white-winged horse, is one of the best-known creatures in Greek mythology. He is a symbol of wisdom, beauty, and power, and has been a part of a poetic story since medieval times. Pegasus is the son of Poseidon and the Gorgon Medusa. In the beginning, he was a wild and untrained, but over time, Pegasus learned his true potential through the help of the hero Bellerophon. Yeah. Look, this is. I'm gonna stop right here real quick. This thing is full of words that I'm not even gonna try and pretend that I know how to say. So, with that being said, Bellerophon and their many journeys together. He appears in many of Greek stories, assisting in a variety of epic battles, including the fight against both Chimera and the Amazons. As a symbol, Pegasus embodies the concept of transformation from humble beginnings, rising up and accomplishing his true potential, then giving back to the things that need his energy the most. When receiving the Pegasus card, a person may be at any stage of their own I get distracted extremely easy because being dyslexic, that's part of it, and I can hear people. But anyways, maybe at their own Pegasus story. In the case of a person that has achieved their potential, this is a card of gratitude and of giving back to those in need of inspiration, education, or assistance. This is also a card of charity, donations, and volunteer work. In a Pegasus story, a spring of water now issues forth from where he steps, nourishing the land where he is present. Reversed, this card indicates a person may be acting pridefully or flaunting the benefits of their new status. The energy this person gives back may be doing good, but their motives are hazy. So that's essentially the sort of explanation you can expect from each card. I love that because you not only get the actual sort of mythology snippet, which is awesome, especially if you're into that, but you also get an actual like little summary of what it means, and it's very symbolic and powerful. I like that because there's some decks you get it's like I don't know, I don't know how to explain it, but this is more up my alley of how I am a reader. Rather than, like, you get some explanations of tarot cards that are just so dry and so emotionless, and I don't like that. So this is really up my alley. So then you've got let's look here. And then it tells you how to then if you are beginning, it also gives you a little snippet of how to read with these cards if you need some tips, which is always nice. And then it's got some nice little spreads, some interesting ones that I've never really heard of, like the binary reading. Then it's got your little hold on, we'll show you the spread. The binary reading. And then it's got your typical 3 card. Then it's got a huge zodiac reading, which I know. Those are always fun. But it includes an oracle card in the middle, which is neat. Then a new moon reading. an elemental reading, which I do my own variation. House of Heavens, which looks very interesting to try. That would be fun to do for yourself. Been wanting to find a new spread to try for myself, so that actually looks interesting. Then a small oracle reading, which I think this I might actually try for you guys towards the end of this after I look through the cards some to show you, just to do one of these spreads. And that's it. And then the end has just a little bit about Light Gray Art Lab, just so you know what they're about. So we will keep the oracle reading up. I would try one of the others, but they are so large that we would be here all day, and I don't have the space at my workstation here. So, okay. Now to go ahead and dive into the decks. Mine is a mess because I somehow keep getting them halfway turned up, and that really bothers me, so give me a second here. So as I mentioned, what is neat is this, even though this deck is unconventional, I personally feel that it is beginner friendly. The reason for that being is because while the suits are definitely unique and they are mythology and astrology based, they have snippets on the bottom of basically like guide words if needed. And sometimes, like with the major arcana, at the top they still have what that regular card is, like the Magician, the Wheel of Fortune, whatever. And then they have at the bottom the name of the constellation or something like that, what the alternative name is, I guess. So, something that I love, my foot's stuck, okay, is that these cards are like gilded in gold. Can you see that? Ooh. Oh yeah. I'm a sucker for stuff like this, just like little extra stuff. I don't know why, but I really love it. So, but anyways, with that being said, each card has a gold constellation embellished on it. The constellation that card represents, which is like a really cool note added to it. I don't know if you guys have seen the Prisma, if you're familiar with it, but that was something that I loved about the Prisma, is that the sides are gilded in like metallic silver. And I'd never seen that before with a deck. And so that was something that I particularly loved. And then when I got this, I had no idea it was gilded in gold. I was like, yeah. Okay. So, first and really only complaint with this deck, and it's not even really a complaint for me, but I feel it needs to be addressed because this may be an issue for some of you. The cardstock is thin and could be considered fragile. However, personally, I have not had any issues with it. I can at times be a very I can be a very crazy shuffler at times. And I have, shuffled pretty rough with this bad boy and not had any problems. I honestly have had more issues out of stuff like the Miracles Now, which is a thicker, the cards stick together and it drives me crazy. I love that deck, don't get me wrong, but this deck, because it's thin, shuffles like a dream. And even if you do happen to shuffle kind of hard and the cards kind of hit each other and kind of act like they're gonna, bend, they don't have any issues. I mean, yes, you do want to be a little careful. You don't want to, you know, be really rough with them, because you shouldn't be rough with your decks anyways, because that's just being careless, and your decks aren't going to like the energy, the negative energy of you being just rough and unkind with them anyways. You should shuffle with care regardless of your deck. So, with that being said, I'm trying to shuffle up here. Let's show you some cards. If any of you have the wooden tarot, the cardstock is very similar of that. But the quality of the image is much better. So, let's go ahead and show you some cards. This is, by the way, something to address also is that the suits are by elements, like the Nomad. So, Cups is water, Swords is air, Wands is fire, and Pentacles is earth. So, here's one, and this is by Bridget Underwood, and this is the Centaurus constellation, and it's the Seven of Cups, but it's called the Seven of Water on here. And let's do this. Let me try and get, there we go. I'm trying to get the damn glare off here. And I will just zoom in so you can see. And I love this card. As you can see, this is a centaur kind of engulfed in this very ethereal looking flames as he's been shot down. And you can see the constellation right there. You see it? Oops. Right up through here. Ooh. Now, here you go. And you probably can't see the words at the bottom, but at the very bottom, underneath, jeez, I'm sorry, y'all. I just have a hard time understanding directions on this camera. But right here are the little snippet words that are like excellent for beginners. And what those say, let me zoom out here, is misdirected aggression, mistakes, and pity. And that kind of gives people who are beginners and have a hard time with the, basically the unconventional way this deck works. It helps you understand. So with that being said, oh, also, here are the backs of the deck. Galaxy-esque, and it's got these little elemental signs. And God, jeez. Okay, right here. Nope, still wrong direction. I will just, you know what? Let's turn the brightness down on my laptop. There we go. So, that being said, let's look at some more of the tarot, and then we'll look at the oracle. Oh, this is one of my favorites. This is the Page of Cups. You guys might have seen this on my feed when I pulled it for myself. This is Columba. Dropped in the floor. Guess Columba didn't want to say hi. Alright. Anyways, this is Columba. This is the Ace of Water. Hands down, one of my favorite cards ever. It's got these three beautiful goddess or seer-like women standing in the water. They're very large, obviously. They're looking down upon the ship, and you just obviously get this message that they are helping to guide it. And message of peace and hope. They've got a dove, a skull. And what's awesome is this deck. Can you see the constellation? There it is. And what I like about this deck is that you will see a lot of diversity in it. Unfortunately, off the top of my head, I don't think you see any super important diversity, in my opinion. Anything of like LGBT, which I would like. That would have been awesome, but you do see some important ethnic diversity, I think. So that's nice. Here is Cetus, which is the 5 of water. This one's pretty creepy. I like this one. I'm just going to kind of move along through here and show you guys some more that are really interesting. Here is Ursa Minor. This is the 6 of air. This one isn't really a particular favorite of mine, but I want to show you this simply for showing you the diversity in styles of art that you'll see. This is the 5 of air. Here's Temperance. It's 2 odd-looking horses. For some reason now there's another glare on this laptop. That is, I just said laptop. Laptop. It's 2 odd-looking horses. Let's see. Here's this tower. It's this creepy looking fish, which I love. Okay. This is Perseus. This is the 10 of air. Hopefully you all can see this. Let me zoom in a little bit better so that maybe you can see her better. This almost looks like Medusa. And now there's a glare again, I swear. But hopefully you guys can see her good. But this is Perseus. Though the depiction looks like Medusa. We will just keep the cam here for the time being. This is Draco. Or Draco. But that is a 6 of water. Here's another card that I'll show you just simply for the sake of showing you the diversity in art. Here is the 3 of water. So you can see that constellation. Here's one of my favorites, the 4 of water. Canes Venetici. These beautiful dogs running along some cherry blossoms, it looks like. here is the Queen of Earth. And here is the Eight of Air. And I'll just show you guys a couple more. I'm going to try and find one that's just really good or something. I just think this is awesome because there's definitely some characters of color, and I think that's important in tarot because there needs to be more of that in tarot, because I think there's only a few tarot decks that really have exclusively like LGBT, but I don't think that's necessarily in this. There might be that I'm missing, but because if I'm correct, there may have been that in Greek mythology. But regardless, there are definitely some ethnic diversity in this deck, which is super important because there's really only a few tarot decks out there that have that. And I think that's important in our community that we have that. So, with that being said, oh, speaking of which, right on the bottom as I shuffled is another card that has somebody. So that's awesome. Just to show you guys. So anyways, with that being said, let's go ahead and move on to the Oracle deck because I really didn't intend for this video to be that long. It's already like 40 minutes. I'm sorry. Jeez, what did I do? I don't know how I end up doing this. I did the same thing on Periscope. Let's get on here and run my mouth. But anyways, okay. So, Oracle deck, same quality stock, gilded as well, much smaller because Oracle decks always are. Same sort of theme, but it is done planetary. So all the cards are themed by the planets and the planetary system. So let's shuffle and I'll show you a couple cards and then I'll do the quick oracle reading just to give you a taste of kind of how it reads, I guess, and then we'll call it quits. Because hopefully you guys actually made this far, I don't know. So here's Wormhole. Same thing, by the way. These are just numbered and then has the card name on the bottom with the small summaries. I don't think these actually have a constellation on them. They just are gilded somewhere. So, and here's Pluto. Here's Common. I love this one for some reason. I'm having a hard time showing you where it's gilded at now. The stars up there are too, but it's just this big guy in that house, which is cute. So, here's a more abstract one called Supernova. This one's pretty awesome. This is Black Hole. It's a pretty creepy looking card, but I love it. And the little stars are gilded. So, and here's Dark Matter. The rays are gilded. And after this one, I'll show you one more. This is Satellite. And here is Mercury. This one's kind of an abstract one again, too. Just to kind of show you. Okay. So, we will do a quick one. A quick oracle reading for myself. Let me zoom in. I mean, zoom out. I don't think you want me to zoom in. Okay, so. You lay down 5 oracle cards. And I'm not going to do what I normally do for clients or myself, because what I want to do, since I'm on video for you guys, I want to just kind of surprise myself. So I'm just going to pull and lay them down each at a time face down and flip them over as I show you guys basically. So let me see. So the first one is goals and ambitions, foresight and inspiration. So goals and ambitions. I really needed to do a reading for myself, so. Okay, goals. Then mental abilities, strengths, talent, decisions. So okay. Then perception, confidence, and power. Okay. Then next is action, focus, reflection, and meditation. And lastly, outcome, fate, and fortune. So this is a pretty cute little spread for just oracle cards, because for me, I always use oracle cards as like supplementary cards. Though I really enjoy oracle cards because of how straightforward they are. Alright, guys. Oh, I didn't show you guys. This is the back. It's more of a pink galaxy looking thing with some symbols. Some elemental symbols too, if you can see them. I think they might actually be... No, just 2 circles entwined. So, okay. Let's see. Now, these are... As you can see, I've got them laid out here. So, face down. Let's do this real quick, because this video is seriously almost been an hour long. So, I don't know if any of you guys literally made it this far, so I don't know if anyone will actually watch this or not. Alright, so for my goals and ambitions, foresight and inspiration. Pluto. Pulled her before. Alright, just to give you guys a reminder of who Pluto is. I'm not going to actually go into full in-depth reading for myself in front of you guys. I'll do this stuff for myself later. But, just to give you guys a hint, Finality, transition, distance, and separation. So, goals, ambitions, foresight, and inspiration. Definitely. I'm definitely, right now, a goal for me is absolutely working through some change and transition. Because there's so much of me right now that's like going through a major introspection and wanting to make some big changes for myself, wanting to achieve a deeper sense of inner peace. So, absolutely. Next, mental ability, strengths, talent, and decisions. Common. It's so weird that like two of the first cards have been cards that I showed you guys. So weird. So common. A sign of fate, harbinger of change. So do you guys remember him? That cute little guy sitting inside of a house. He reminds me of a cute little yeti with a beautiful little girl. He's got his tail wrapped around her. I love this card. It's so cute. I'm so weird because I think like super weird stuff like that's cute. Like cute like giant monkey dude. But anyways, mental ability, strengths, talent, decisions. So this card is more of one that certainly is a little harder in terms of what its summary words are, because it's like a sign of fate, harbinger of change. But when you think of what a comet is a very powerful thing in the universe because it floats around essentially until it hits something, and then when it hits something, it's very powerful. And so what I'm seeing is that my mental abilities are that I have the ability to make these important changes, and I've always been that way. Because sometimes I do struggle with being able to, I guess, compliment myself, and I almost feel like so insecure about boasting about myself. I guess, which boasting is an awkward word because that makes it seem as though you're like talking about yourself in a way that's untrue. So I guess complimenting myself is a better word, but when it comes time to have the determination and the motivation I need to do what I need to do, I have that power. I always have. But certainly lately I've been struggling with a lot of negativity because I'm just going through a lot in terms of my anxiety and OCD. And so the thing is, though, is that this is reminding me that I have that powerful impact within my own self to do that. So that's awesome. Really enjoying this own spread for myself. So perception, confidence, and power. Ooh, the sun. Wonderful. This is an awesome little spread for myself. The sun. Love this card. Looks like it's sitting on a lotus. So that's really weird. So here's the sun. Rebirth, illumination, and visualization. So perception, confidence, and power. Definitely time to seek that inner sun within myself again, which is part of the Pluto for me, is that part of my inner transformation is really growing into that inner sun within myself. And that's what the sun is about anyways, is seeking your inner truth, connecting to what illuminates your path, what makes you feel that warmth within yourself. So next is action, focus, reflection, meditation. Venus. I think it's just her apple that's gilded. I'm trying to show you guys. Yep, there it is. But anyways, Venus, beauty, love, relationships. So, that's obviously, I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be Aphrodite. But anyways, action, focus, reflection, meditation. Definitely. Right now, something very heavy on myself is my relationship with my self-love and the balance of the love I give to others and how I need to balance that out with my self-love, because though my life path is a 4, I have a 9 and 11 and 7 in my core, which means that I need to have that time with myself between also extending my light to others, because I'm an empath, and so a lot of my life revolves around helping everyone, and I love that so much. But at the same time, a lot of times I don't get that same respect because, one, I don't give myself that time and energy, but people quickly, when you're an empath, people quickly drain you, and they just don't give you, they don't. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that they don't let you breathe sometimes, and that's what being an empath is like. But the thing is that during this transition, I've had some major self-love issues my entire life because I've struggled with that my entire life, like I just said. Growing up, being like harassed my entire life by other people, like children, and just I've had a hard past regardless. And I mean, this isn't what this video is about, so I'm not going to get into that because you came here for a Cosmos um review. But the thing is I'm doing this little mini reading for you guys, so you get that aspect of me too. But the thing is that my major transformation right now is about learning to love myself because I've went my entire life, going through struggling with eating disorders and stuff like that. And, as you go through a transition, that's the whole thing, is you are learning about things about yourself, that inner darkness, and how you can shed that warmth on yourself. And that's what Venus represents to me right now. That's a major focus of my life right now as I'm looking at that transition in Pluto and how I can balance out my being an empath. So, lastly, outcome, fate, and fortune. Sweet Uranus. Pretty sure his shield's gilded. It's hard showing you guys these cards. There we go. Passion, indulgence, sexuality. So, according to this, as everything looks, that shows that my transition is going to be successful because I'm going to get that surge of motivation that I've always been able to connect to, as seen in the comment. I'm going to have that powerful epiphany, essentially, that makes me realize what I need to do to get out of this rut, basically. And that I'm going to finally have that connection back to my passions because I've been struggling. And, that happens. Things are certainly cyclical. And, you have to flow with that. And the outcome is going to be that I will be able to achieve that balance, to connect back to my passions, to move through this transition in a way that will be powerful for me. So that's awesome. So, on that note, thank you guys so much for joining me. And if anybody actually made it this far, thank you for chugging along through my moments of tangent and just whatever. But on that note, if you ever want to book a reading with me, go to my website, which is www.looncherie.com. And also, something that is very worthwhile doing is signing up to my newsletter for the free horoscopes of numerology. So that basically means that you get free content from me every Sunday on your numerology. And there's a thing on there that shows you how to do your life path number that I made if you don't know how to do it, or if you don't know it yet. So all you have to do is go to my website still, www.looncherie.com, and scroll down until you see the symbol, which is this, if you don't know what that is. And underneath it, you'll see the newsletter prompt, and you just type in your email, and that's it. And then every Sunday, you will get a numerology horoscope, which is basically just going to tell you how your week's going to go, based upon your life path number. So that's all you have to do. And it's free content for me every Sunday. All you have to do is sign up. So anyways, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the Cosmos review and my other discussions about just my crystal addictions. But anyways, I guess that is it. And the ultimate review here is that 10 out of 10 would recommend Cosmos. So, namaste. Thank you for joining me. And that is all. Bye, lovelies.